Hello YouTube, it is your boy GZTV. We are back with another video, and in this video we are here to discuss the long-awaited film, what really wraps up 22 movies in this universe, the 2019 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics superhero team, the Avengers. We have Avengers Endgame. Here we fucking go, everyone. It is motherfucking showtime. Sorry, I might cuss a lot in this video, but I am so damn pumped for this. We have literally the Endgame. This is it. Or I think it's phase 1. I don't know if it's like phase 2, whatever they called this in the Marvel world. And whenever I put a neat bow on this video, which I have a feeling will be long after I'm done recording, a new era will have begun, and basically everything from here on out will be fresh material for me. All of these new movies, because again, like I've said in previous videos, I kind of stopped paying attention to Marvel after this whole fiasco. We're gonna go through and watch all of those movies eventually. There's a lot of excitement and nervousness that comes with that, but that's not what we are here for. We are here with the final battle, the final showdown, WrestleMania main event level, John Cena versus The Rock type movie here, type event here. There's no probably, this is the most monumental event in the history of cinema, I think. Once again, everyone shows up here from every nook and cranny of the universe. Holy shit, this is still hard to believe to this day. The likes of James Gunn, Jon Favreau, and others make it happen, so here we have it. The greatest series finale of all time, the most tragic yet emotionally fulfilling conclusions of a franchise, not quite, but you get me, that we have ever seen. What the fuck are we waiting for? Let's get into this thing. So you know how these videos go. Let's start with the premise. This is the fourth installment in the Avengers saga, obviously. It is the culmination of, again, 22 interconnected Marvel films and the climax of a journey. Like, are we actually serious? 22 movies. What other studio, what other franchise is pulling that off but Marvel? Warner Bros. Can never intercross all of their films together. Universal couldn't do shit like that. Disney probably couldn't do shit like that. Ironic enough, obviously, because Marvel is owned by Disney. This is no comp, but I feel like this era of filmmaking was taken for granted. This is absolutely nuts, again, to just put this movie together. I can't stress that enough. Anyways, the world's heroes finally understand just how fragile reality is and the sacrifices that must be made to uphold it, in a story of friendship, teamwork, and setting aside differences to overcome an impossible obstacle. Thanos once again is inevitable, as he loves saying, and this is going to be the last effort to kind of take him down. Honestly, as legendary as this film was as a conclusion to so many cinematic pieces put together, I forgot this was a damn time-traveling movie. I'm going to try not to get into spoilers throughout the video, but I have to comment on that. So upon rewatch, I was shocked, like, wait, they actually did that? Yes, they sure did, and that is kind of the beauty of this film. Continuing to go into different subgenres, continuing to kind of experiment. We're just getting started with the well-deserved praise for this thing, so let's get it. Speaking of praise, another really long section of a video goes to the good here, where this movie is just so awe-striking, everything about it. The hype going into it, the way they wrapped one of, if not the most successful series of films in the history of cinema, just everything they did. The fact also that this is an even bigger film than Infinity War, and just when we thought we peaked there, boom, this movie takes it even further, and you'll see with my rating, but I think this movie is better than Infinity War, which is crazy to think about. I will go ahead and put that out there. I do think this is better than Infinity War. I won't be able to get into everything in this section. I won't be able to get into everything about this movie, even whether I like it or not, because my god, there's so much to talk about. And again, just the pressure of 22 movies crashing down on this film, and just how the writers handle that pressure, it was unreal. I mean, seriously. Again, I'll try not to spoil anything in this video for those of you who somehow haven't seen this, but my god, it is going to be really hard not to. Just to play it safe, I would watch the movie before watching this video. It is 3 hours, so you're going to be sitting there for a while, but it is well worth the ride. We're going to continue to talk about it. And even though I have seen this already, of course I went to see it in the theaters. I used to be a big Marvel buff, especially growing up. There are some things I forgot or even wasn't mature enough to realize that they went for here, and it really paid off in rewatch, and that's kind of a sentiment I've been carrying throughout my MCU movie reviews. A lot of stuff I kind of forget about. Not sure if I want to go into specifics, but just the concept of time travel was something I completely forgot about this movie, and I know that that is really what the whole movie is centered on, so I should have remembered. I must have just been too young to understand how amazing that was. I'm not sure. It's literally all of the time machine movies they reference cleverly through dialogue in this film. Great pop culture references, by the way. Kind of mashed with the Avengers stuff that we already had, and that just attests to how awesome of a concept this movie is. Just another one of those examples of Marvel succeeding with a unique subgenre and going in a new lane and just completely excelling at it. There really isn't a movie studio that does this better than Marvel, with just making spy movies, heist movies, maybe even horror movies at times. It's crazy. Obviously, you can't really fail based on the movies that came before this in terms of time travel. It is really hard to make bad time travel movies, but they're definitely out there, so there you go. Also, once you realize where the movie is going, the excitement for the rest of the movie is at an all-time high. Once you realize, holy shit, this is a time travel movie, the rest of the movie, it's history. It's just like, holy fuck, this is going to be insane, and it definitely was. And for all the hype this film drew with internet discussions and spoiler talks, that was a big talk of the town, people spoiling in this movie for each other. Not only was I just absolutely shocked by how they executed it then, I'm still shocked 6 years later. And there were just surprises all over this thing, from character deaths to just plot lines, link ups, all that. How did you do it, Marvel? Obviously, I just have to give credit to how they managed all the hype for this thing, and again, somehow managed to exceed expectations. I think this movie's even better than what I could have ever imagined it to be. And just getting into the fan service too, a few of the moments were a bit corny and forced, sure, but just the excitement this movie gave me and the energy of it, the atmosphere, especially at the end when everyone clashes together. Not really a spoiler, we knew that was going to happen in this movie eventually. It was inevitable, as Thanos would love to say. And again, even for how long this movie is, 3 damn hours, they had me glued to the screen the entire time. Does the end wane on a bit? Sure, we'll discuss that probably 5 minutes into the video, but other than that, the actual movie itself and what matters in it is very entertaining. The chunk of the movie, the first, second, and third acts. Just an awesome movie overall, and just the emotional nature of the film to it is very emotional. There's hype, there's some anger, and obviously with some of the character deaths, a lot of sadness, and I think that Marvel handled that well. There is some disappointment that kind of comes with how some of the characters went, some of their deaths in general, but it was handled well. And the thing about this movie is it was the wrap-up of all of these great films and characters and storylines, basically, so you know that if you lose a character, they are done for in this franchise. And again, I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't seen the movie again somehow, but towards the end, the biggest character in the Avengers saves the universe and dies because of it, and there's not a single TV or movie character death besides maybe Glenn from The Walking Dead, or maybe even Hank, Mike, or Walt from the Breaking Bad TV series that affected me like that. I'm sure there's other examples, as we've really been covering a lot of movies as well as TV shows over the years, but man, this character death, if there was a top 10, maybe even a top 5 all-time character deaths here, it's probably going to be this guy. And again, I'm not going to say it. It affected me when I watched it in theaters, and still to this day, man, it sucks we won't see him anymore. It is a guy, I'll give you a hint. But they needed that emotional punch in this movie. It was very much necessary, and like I said with Infinity War, it was necessary to have character deaths and to have one of the biggest characters in the entire universe die. That's something, man. It really is. Marvel really rarely killed major characters, which is something crazy to notice throughout those first 22 movies, and that really makes these deaths sting. I think besides like maybe Agent Coulson and maybe a few villains, there weren't really that many huge characters that died throughout this film series. Maybe Quicksilver, I don't know. They didn't really take risk like that. Now they are, and the risk taking is also great here. And just speaking of the characters, again, I know there are about 30 characters, it seems like, in this movie, so I don't really want to go into too specific, but some of my favorite sub angles, I'll just kind of list them. Captain America really being at the forefront and being the morale guy like he was with the army all of those years, that was awesome. The Hulk being able to be Bruce Banner and the Monster at the same time was pretty fucking sick. I was a bit skeptical on it at first. I thought it was a bit goofy, but as I kept watching the movie, I really started to enjoy that. All of the characters from the past who shaped the universe, the time travel aspect and bringing old characters back, Peter Parker and Iron Man's relationship, as well as even Thor and Rocket becoming an even more entertaining duo and an unlikely duo than they were last time. Not the funniest film in the world either, but this version of Marvel comedy also, I'd say, once again, worked out for me, just kind of getting into that. Not too cheesy, but it also makes its presence known and adds joy to the film. The film's tone is appropriate depending on the situation for the most part. They know when to be funny, they know when to be serious, they know when to be intense, all of these things. And with the whole time travel stuff, it was cool to bring characters back, and just in general, everything that comes with time travel was explored in this movie at a high level. All of the stipulations, all of the different like implementations and all that stuff was here. I think with half the universe gone too, this film was able to concentrate more on the characters who survived, and I really like that. I really like their focus here. I love just about every character in this universe to an extent, but having too many of them last time around made me feel like we were just bouncing around and focusing on spectacle more than actual story. That was one of my only gripes with Infinity War, is that boom, 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 we're just bouncing all over the place, and there's really not a lot of focus there. The movie seemed to go more for spectacle than story, and here I think it kind of flips that on its head. I think the movie's pacing too was great because of that, and I also liked Nebula's character. I didn't really get into that as much earlier, and her character arc, one of the most intriguing ones in this entire film. I'm just kind of listing stuff off this film. Don't mind me just kind of closing out the good here. It's also just a good way to end the universe, of course, for now. Similar sentiments with Infinity War. Go watch my review on that if you haven't. A lot of the stuff that was good about that film was here, and even some of the bad stuff about that, like I said, was remedied in this movie. Thanos was pretty good as always, how he has been throughout this universe now. I like the unique angles he took last film, and he definitely seemed more grounded in that sense here, but still a good villain that puts up more than a fight and is once again just a menace to the universe. I mean, he probably was better in Infinity War. I will say I'd probably give Infinity War that, but still. Way to keep up the consistency here, too. We don't see the writers run out of ideas. The Russo brothers did great. One of the better written comic book films we have ever seen, too, not just keeping up consistency. I genuinely think this movie was also well written. And one last thing I will give this movie credit for is just the continuity of Infinity War and just how dark and destructive this film gets. That is awesome. Okay, that's it. We're done. With the good anyways, we're going to get into the bad. Pretty minor stuff here. I mean, two characters I didn't really like, and I didn't mention in the good, of course, but they weren't abysmally bad. I mean, obviously we have Thor and Ant-Man. Fat Thor and Ant-Man at that. Fat Thor, I mean, come on, that's just goofy. Why is a god fat? That never makes sense. Now, some like Norse mythology people were known to be a little overweight, I guess, and like mythological figures in general, but seriously, did we have to make Thor fat here? That was stupid. I like how they sort of recover his character and snap him out of things kind of towards the end of the film. Like, they attempt to kind of make up for it, but still, for about 70 to 80% of the movie, he was a slob, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. He was kind of a pussy. Like, also, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to bring these stones back. My family is like too much for me right now. It's like, normal Thor would not do this. Like, no matter what, he would do anything for a cause. Like, he obviously has like that genuine family nature to him, but still, it wasn't even really funny either to just have a fat god. I don't know. Like, it was kind of funny sometimes. Like, kind of funny stuff where they're like playing Fortnite, and it's great because Fortnite was kind of like coming up at the time, but still. Also, Ant-Man being annoying and talkative all film and acting clueless on everything was really stupid to me, and he kind of had that problem in Captain America Civil War. I wasn't a super big fan of him either. He made some heroic moves towards the end, but I don't know. So getting into the okay, again, pretty minor things. This movie is overwhelmingly good. The movie wanes a little bit towards the end, and yeah, it is sort of this fan service moment with the whole Captain America, Falcon, Winter Soldier thing that goes on, and I won't get specific with that, but that's obviously emotional. That's a great moment, but couldn't that have been like a post-credit scene maybe, and not a part of like the actual movie? Like, before we even get to the credits, you're just showing a bunch of this shit, like basically a progression into the next movie, which we know that Captain America gets another movie because of this, based on how Endgame ended, what we would expect. And also like the funeral memorial stuff and the scenes with like Happy and Morgan, did they really have to be here? And even some of the conversations with like Scarlet Witch and I think Hawkeye and just all these random conversations towards the end of the film didn't really add anything. I don't think we really needed it. It's cool, like the more the merrier, especially with the Avengers stuff. I don't know though. It sounds very nitpicky, but honestly I don't know what else to critique about this film. And also, like, did they perhaps have too many characters just in general? Like, throwing them all in one movie, is that always gonna work? Maybe not. I mean, you could certainly argue that like Wasp, Valkyrie, side characters like that, they didn't really need to be here. I don't know. One more weird thing I noticed here, Nick Fury wasn't given anything in this movie. Like, after being revived, I know like the whole fight was to revive people in Nick Fury, but I don't know though, because Hulk snapped it and then like Ant-Man came back. I don't really know what to say. Nick Fury could have been a little bit more involved in this movie, surely. Whatever, it's fine. There's plot convenience and logic issues too, but that's kind of every Marvel movie. I don't know, that's all I got. So getting into the movie review, I guess we can pull up the tier list. Did I have some minor gripes with this film? Sure, but this is about as close to perfect, technically not perfect, but you know what I mean, just about as close to it that any film franchise can get in terms of closing out many films of hard work, an absolute spectacle. And again, it's very rare to have 22 films in a franchise, and they've been expanding it, although not as successful over the next few phases, but to close it out like this, it's great. I mean, a larger than life film hit the big screens back in 2019, and many people couldn't believe what they just watched, and walking out of that theater, I was one of them. Now 6 years later upon a rewatch, and I'm still not sure what just happened, but I suppose we can let the video kind of speak for itself. We went through, we talked about all the good, the bad, the okay, and now we're here to kind of wrap it up. Such a magical, satisfying, emotional film to watch. It is hard to get me to express myself out loud while watching a movie, and just the energy that this evokes. And yes, Marvel has done that to me in a lot of films I've covered on the channel, but not quite on this level. Just like the pride that this movie gives me. Like, I'm proud to be a Marvel fan because of stuff like this. This is just great cinema. I mean, I knew exactly how this film went, minus the nitty gritty going into this rewatch, and yet I was still as shocked and excited as ever upon every nuance of this movie. So with that being said, I will go ahead and give this movie a 9.4 out of 10. That is one of the highest ratings I've given a film on this channel. I'd have to go back. I don't really feel like doing that, but 9.4, that is amazing. That's damn near perfect, like I said. So with that being said, I am out, guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. This will be a pretty long video. I don't think it'll be like insanely long. We are here for a while. I'm probably about to get these clips together because I'm actually curious on how long I talked. I didn't talk as much in the Infinity War video as I thought I was, but there you have it. Check out the socials, do all that stuff. We still have a couple more Marvel movies in the first kind of foundation of it, and then we'll kind of revisit it later. And from here on out, obviously, I'm going to be going to the theaters and seeing all new Marvel movies because I'm invested.